Okay, I believe we're live. Can you guys talk real quick to make sure that everything's going okay?
Hello.
Okay, now Troy. Okay, now Troy. Okay, now Troy. Awesome.
Can't believe you're using my real name.
Oh, okay. Lazy.
Look, I don't care. Oh, that's right, that's me. I forgot. Excellent work, Renosuke. That was superb.
My heart was in my mouth the entire time.
It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping out, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth.
I also raised my hand.
A grim sight. Before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer.
Forget it. It's terrifying. If I go through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. If I get through this.
Anyway, looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Jazeel Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she?
Okay, she's
My
not in
guy.
the system yet.
No, we haven't met her yet, obviously.
That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along.
Yes, you have, haven't
I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of.
you? Yes, I can see that. So, this young gentlewoman,
Yes. So,
thanks to our detective friend. Doing that?
Phoenix gets the Magitama to allow him to help with his cases. Edgeworth has logic, and Ryu has observation.
Love Edgeworth.
And she was A6 or away from the scene, it seems. See what happened with that?
Can you speak a little louder?
Did you see what happened with that?
No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table. I noticed there was a gun laying on the floor, and just after I bent and picked it up... Bang. I didn't have time to think about where the sound from the gunshot came from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen.
I was thinking about it, detective. Yeah, for a moment's delay.
Troy, not to sound like an ass, but I need you to speak up a little louder.
My mic has always been fine, my guy.
You know, you just need to speak a little louder because I'm afraid you're going to get overpowered by the music.
Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay.
Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area.
There you are, both well done with you.
This might be the one Andrew's playing.
Well, there you are. Well done, both of you.
Nailed it.
Pretty sure that's the Faye family. Press for me to copy.
Well, it seems I was right.
Sure.
An outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say.
Troy.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. I was looking at the guy's design. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial.
Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled.
Well, it makes no difference, lawyer or otherwise. He can't help his best friend to avert the worst crisis of his life. Shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway.
What? What are you saying, Kazuma?
That's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way.
Kazuma!
Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man.
To me?
Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what it really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case.
Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim?
Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at Yumi. And it was I who invited him.
Oh, I see.
I didn't know that before.
Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible.
Let's not forget what we're going up against. A gentlewoman whose involvement in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide.
Yes, I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck.
Thank you!
Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need.
Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama.
Defendant Naruhodo. Course is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's go back into it, partner.
Kazuma, where's the wind?
Let's get back there and feel the sense of blow to these old fossils. Before those fossils in the way hit them.
Kazuma? Thank you. Really.
What for?
Well, if you hadn't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now.
Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend.
Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial.
Get you one of those Sakuku meals like from the Yume cafeteria on Anniversary Street. With an extra large portion, of course.
God, I want some soba noodles right now. Bang.
The court hears I resume the trial of Inosuke Naruhodo. Inosuke actually, you have managed yourself to be another witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, young stripling, the prosecution is.
Oop. My bad. Sorry, I was
What?
increasing your volume. Sorry.
Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relations we've forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. You still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down in our nation founders?
Again, terribly sorry.
The friendship between our nations is so fragile, and the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryu. So,
You mean?
secret trial decided over some foreign government opinion of bundling investigation of missing witnesses.
Troy, you need to talk a little louder.
Ah! A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bundled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world fire, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all.
Well said, Beyonce. Despite the wide-eyed look chair.
You little brat!
Thank you, counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice, and it exists solely for the pursuit of truth.
One more time,
This court
Troy.
is, This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and it exists solely for our purchase of truth. With that in mind, this trial is now resumed. The next witness is taking the stand. Visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett.
Yes. Your Excellency.
Damn.
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine councilwoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussion will take place without tea. Is that true? No, Indaya.
Oh, that was...
So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at
Yes, we know about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first.
Is that true?
No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of opposition are the one thing you're sure of.
Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I?
Yet your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. I'm asking about powers of opposition aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking.
Guilty.
Oh, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
uh,
Yeah. Speaking in cursive.
Andrew, you want to give it a shot?
He's speaking English.
I'm not gonna try to decipher cursive. I can read it, just I can't pronounce it.
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
Tea and crumpets. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UME University Medical Facility.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was beautiful as a hummingbird's song.
As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithful part.
Yes, I agree. You're obviously doing fine in English, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it?
Nor you. You clearly been paying attention in your English classes yesterday. Or thanks, beautiful lady, for taking this stand. Sims. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? What you doing there, Glenn?
Okay, sorry. I was sending a quick text. She says yes. Now, this could take some time.
So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese?
She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately.
Interesting when you're the one who engineered her escape.
I was just following special orders from the Bureau.
Oh now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over on this photographic prints? Think as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime. Could it be your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was very frightening. And a sorrowful sight.
Do you mean to say?
Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there, in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood.
Order in the court.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? We have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Hmm. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sighting described.
I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not too long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I see. How bad. I don't carry a gun myself, so I obviously couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Attention!
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this Snow White angel. Jesus Christ, you simp. I'm even sure a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words is going to be, the court is going to believe.
You're still making the same mistakes for no mistake. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn.
But he's so annoying! Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statement from the lady and the 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go.
Testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however.
Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm.
And her hat.
I can think of quite a few places. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to.
Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot.
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those were the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it.
Don't think about doing anything rash for us, okay?
But I didn't fire the gun. I picked it up. There must have been another gun there that day.
Read about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. To do so, we'll need to pull her testimony apart.
Oh, she grinned.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
Begin the cross-examination.
I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. Okay. Hold on. Okay. We have a collar pin. We got the mortem report. Was caused by blood from the gunshot in the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Got the photograph of him being shot. Police. Crime scene photo of the steak being eaten. Medical report card. Okay. After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late lunches are en vogue, isn't that right?
No.
No.
Just the fuck. No.
A decisive English no has quite a sting to it.
The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it's apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together.
On the day in question, the victim had another appointment to the clinic first.
Yes, which we can prove from the medical report that had been submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late.
Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this woman is.
So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he had just had a tooth removed at the Hada clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering.
Was Miss Brett aware of that fact?
It seems so, yes. She heard from the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that was you who ate the steak picture. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left?
Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic accident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that subjected you to this terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson. So the victim, Dr. Wilson had nothing to eat or drink at all?
That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water.
What do you think, Renosuke? What about the witness's last statement?
Ow. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Oh well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing?
The fucking eye movement.
Significance of that statement will become apparent when the time is right. Defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestep, counsel.
Lazy.
Very well, Miss Bray. You can call me Troy. I don't care. Kindly repeat what you said. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony.
Gladly,
Gladly.
she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one.
Which one?
The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase.
I hope there are some more useful chips you're picking up from this experience than that or this game.
I ordered a beef steak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. There's only one glass, so my question is, should I press or should I present? What'd you say, Andrew?
I would say, we're again. This is the tutorial thing. They're not gonna have to. You're not gonna have to press a statement and then press the statement again to get even more detail. That's not until way later in the game.
Let's see what happens. Don't get exposed.
Yes!
That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Ow. Well, that is, it's odd. Very odd.
Peter, what is odd in the defense's inability to express itself?
Inosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously it's the cheers!
Cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on a table, not 1.
Ah. You're quite right, Counsel. There is only one glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutes? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on this case?
Well, I mean, it's a Phoenix Wright case, so apparently a big one.
Objection!
Minute, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence?
Of course not! I would never do something so reckless. Ow. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table! Stings. Or are you going to try and tell me you can't clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses at the table. Mm-hmm.
One second.
What are you doing?
Inspector, what did the lady say? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I had been there at all, she's saying.
Good gracious.
Show me your eyes. Oh, sorry.
There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please.
We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray?
That's absurd!
Oh, really? So, do we take it you are now just going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief?
What? No, no, no. This can't be put down to mischief?
I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene.
It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying.
A handbag, you say?
Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. Even though she just said that she had no way of concealing a gun.
Yeah.
Oh, this fact really has absolutely no bearing.
What are you
on the case.
doing, Troy? It's crunching into your mic.
I'm sorry. I was taking a couple bites out of the burger, so I'm hungry.
Ah.
This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know really.
Want to pursue the matter further? You need to show that a deeper significance.
Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance here, it's the glass, the handbag. Wait! The lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. Ow. In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot we heard from the defendant picked up from the gunshot we heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire the gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murderer weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No.
Order.
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling confidence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask.
Do you think so, Kazuma?
Stop coughing in my ear. It's loud, my guy.
Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I completely forgotten about. The photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shoot. The hell is that?
A bull or something? It's a fake photo.
Huh?
It's a fake photo.
A faked?
Most likely.
She might have a see-through handbag, but the thing that's on his hand, do you see that on his wrist?
Yeah, it's a bull mark or something. Well, it'll come in later, most likely.
As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never. You can see right through what's inside.
That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are at the height of fashion in London at the moment.
So the contents are clearly visible.
Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there is nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruto-san.
Order.
Sure.
Inspector Hosanage, you will submit that print as evidence at once.
Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. Yeah, but what the fuck is on his wrist?
I think we've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print has just submitted to the court record appears to have no further significance. I am satisfied that there is no longer any doubt in the room to this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than when I was at the start. Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. When the correct examination witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue.
What? You mean this is it?
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. In fact, you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma,
What?
is there really no chance now of turning this trial around?
You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basics on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems you will be able to report. Oh, sorry, that's you.
Report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little. Runosuke Noharuda. Having considered all the evidence placed.
Wait! Your Excellency!
Runosuke?
I don't think you can rule out this case yet.
Amateur.
This amateurness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of this courtroom.
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photograph print just emitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
This is blatant straw clutching. Just look at the photographic prints. All it shows is the handbag that the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Runosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective is not undergone by the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how you can glean new information from this handbag.
My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I can put my finger on it.
Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
Oof. Be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Oh, that's me. So take another look at the photograph of print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify the court where the print. You will identify for the court where in this print you see the significant detail to which you have alluded.
It's the bag.
Go over the tattoo.
Oh, is it a tattoo?
Probably.
Look at this. Here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Dear me, I was wondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Really, this has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right.
Go on, Inspector.
The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. Or do we?
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the most curious shape of this mark.
It looks like a bull.
I said that since the beginning.
Oh, I just didn't understand you then.
However, as Part-2 points out, unless a firm connection to this case can be shown, I cannot allow any time further to spend on the precise details of this burn.
Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Of course, dear lady, we shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What you're thinking on this, Runosuke? You believe this burn doesn't have something to do with this case?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful.
Yes, you're right.
I am?
We can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, then we might be able to pry this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid without evidence, I would tend to allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. So if we had evidence that would link the burn to the victim's wrist in the case, then you will allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. I hadn't noticed the burn. But as soon as you pointed out, what I did notice is the color draining from Miss Brett's face.
Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what the burn really means.
So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. Evidence that demonstrates an Go to the handbag photo again real quick. To examine it. Go back.
If there's something in this, there has to be something that happened in this restaurant to give this man that shape, that burn mark on his hand.
Go back to that photo.
Yo!
Yeah, the burn from there. It's not shown on that photo. What's this, Counsel? Yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? Inconvenience this poor lady any further would really be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have this unusually shaped burn on their wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. Can you prove the statements?
Hiya!
Beefsteak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on.
The plate? Ah.
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape.
Resuke, you genius.
You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
But even if that's the case, you didn't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Could have been the day before, or the day before that, or most likely it happened at some other unrelated time.
Well,
Sadly, Prosecutor Achui, the chances of that are extremely slim.
Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanaga?
I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at this picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not particularly a large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds.
It's inconceivable that the victim would have let out a scream of pain then.
I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
You're a detective, not a waiter.
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. 'Cause everyone's a bitch in this I mean, there's no question of that.
Yet Inspector Hasanaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it.
That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either.
What are you suggesting?
Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day,
Then that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antique dealer, all of us, without a question, would have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Mr. Wilson scream?
I almost don't believe it. Renosuke, do you think?
Can it really be true? I never dreamed we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe. We've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think that makes sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Mr. Wilson was already deceased.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because my thought process is she was sitting away from him at the table, she shot him, and his hand fell on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, he could he have been asleep because of the anesthesia?
No.
No. I guess was already deceased.
I don't think anesthesia, like, knocks you out.
It just, well, depending on how strong it is, it can knock you out, but, mostly it just makes it so you can't really feel the pain.
Yeah, it makes you... Yeah, okay. No man could... Sorry, I thought the music just shifted tones for me for a bit. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation.
Counsel, are you suggesting?
Yes, it's only possible
Oh, that's you. Sorry.
if the man was already dead.
Already.
Dead.
Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness.
Order, please. Counsel, please explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student. Clearly has no grasp of the facts.
No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you. It's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case has turned upside down. Or you have not grasped, or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. It's true. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly unlikely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. You certainly didn't face this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
Your Excellency.
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours.
Miss Brett, you speak Japanese?
Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country after all.
Then why are you speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tongues as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level.
Well, you're the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this. The lavish consideration you have so graciously afforded us.
Tim, I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson.
I mean, this entire case has been just Japan trying to simp for England.
Yeah, so we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are going to get interesting, Yosuke.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man's burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigation techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyways. To quote a great Hank Hill, what a bitch.
The most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court history. Thank you.
Easy does it. I hope this is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
Not at all, dear lady. It's a delight to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant.
I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what happened here today.
The Minister of Justice?
May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then?
Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination for now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination of this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness testimony, I will be ruling on this case immediately. Is that clear? He did the thing.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You may proceed with your cross-examination.
Hackin' fucking. Okay. I have no idea when the Pern man burnt his wrist like that. The waiter brought the steak. The professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. It does say bleeding out on the cause of death, I believe.
Yeah, but let's press the other statements first. Caused by blood loss from the gunshot.
What the prosecutor said at the very beginning of the case, that the way Japan does its autopsy report is different from England.
Yeah.
which is literally the autopsy report for Japan is literally just look at it and just say, well, it looks like he died by this, but don't do
Yeah.
any actual real evidence searching.
That's right.
So it is very possible this man could have been poisoned.
If there's some other way that this man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably won't pick up on it anyways. Oh, she's being a cocky little bitch!
Mm.
So I would say press on that one where she's literally talking about, hey, we Japan does their investigations like shit.
Yeah. Press that one first before you press that one.
Okay.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it? Is that so? Isn't that so?
Quite right, like Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Was he poisoned as well or something?
I hope not.
What's going on with his speech bubble?
It doesn't
You
even
know,
occur
him
to
realizing that she has a point.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand?
The killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful.
Amazing.
Amazing! He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Achi is finally starting to see sense.
I'm very much doubt that.
Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right.
What did you think, Renosuke?
I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information.
Yes, as expected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony or the cross-examination will be over.
But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to find a chink in her armor. Kazuma.
King. Oh. What, Renosuke?
There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me.
You mean about Miss Burt? Brett?
Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga.
The detective?
Yes, he seems to react a little strangely to Miss Barrett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe.
Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement once more time.
If you think so, but...
This time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective.
Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Barrett on her last statement again.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
I feel like it's just repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Maybe click on the speech bubble now?
I think it'll happen automatically.
Yes! There it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why?
Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But, but things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity.
What do you mean?
When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down.
You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts.
It's time to pursue the man on his train of thought.
Sorry?
New gameplay mechanic.
Pursue?
New gameplay mechanic. I'll explain how to do it now, Renosuke. It's all to do with the witness's marker.
What marker?
The moment when we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Which means, moving the marker left with A and D, you turn your attention to other people on the stand. That's cool. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person just at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. You ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the other people on the stand? Take a good look around. Alright then.
Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with and focus on a detective. Then pursue him with and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Gah! What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply.
Looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had said.
If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works?
Absolutely not.
Hmm?
The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Ow.
Hold up.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in a case.
Inspector Hosonaga,
Yes.
do you have something to add in relation to the statement that was just made by Miss Brett?
Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief?
Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Fine.
Sorry, I'm thinking. Because what Andrew said earlier about him being the guy being poisoned before. If he took crime scene evidence, he probably took one of the glasses, and that's probably why he's acting the way he is, and that would explain why the lady took the glass, because for some fucking reason, nobody knew why she took the glass. They just think, oh, she was in hysterics, so she grabbed the glass. What if she grabbed the glass because it had poison on it and she didn't want people to find out?
I have no clue. We'll find out here in a second, I'm pretty sure.
Take this, for example. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The timing is coming. I guarantee it.
Stop coughing every time he coughs.
I'm not meaning to. It's just triggering mine.
I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence.
The carbonated water bottle has been entered into the court's record. The carbonated water of the victim brought the day of the murder.
Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle that you drank from on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. Remember, you can turn it with the...
Yeah. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma?
I think it's French. It must be very expensive water.
Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking.
And go to France and ask.
You could just say that you don't know.
Look at the tip of it. Bottom, maybe? It's already... It's... Hold on. Right there.
So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had.
Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now.
You know, I bet it's... I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going.
No, Ryosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence.
Oh, no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we?
You never cease to amaze me, Ryosuke, in more ways than one.
I wonder, could there be anything in this water?
What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden.
I think I might have just worked something out. And an interesting possibility.
Okay, that's it. That's it, Glenn.
Just
That's
seeing
it, Glenn.
Okay.
The inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Ahem.
Press her on that.
Postmortem report showed no other besides the gunshot. I kind of want to press her on here. There's some other way.
Without leaving trace, you show me. Yeah, press her on that one or something.
I feel like you can just present the bottle.
Oh.
That's
on
fair.
that one.
Without leaving a trace. If
it's
someone
very-
is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however, a person's life is taken, there's always telltale traces on the body.
Simp.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hasanaga?
As I've said, I've always aimed for flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't involve leaving a mark. If, heaven forbids, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady innocence into question. On my iron eye. Tiketsu Uyuchi will cut down any who dare cast such positions.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace.
We need some evidence to back this up here.
Yes, evidence. Okay, pressing bottle or presenting bottle on that statement. Hey lady, take a look at this.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water?
Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison?
On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from the bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass?
Order, order, order.
And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and was able to sip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous. This is like just such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire. Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one's individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
If I may.
Shut up!
Oh! It is you who should be silent.
Of course. Dear lady.
Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring?
I describe the police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents.
Oh, yeah, that's for me. And what did you find, Inspector?
I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time.
We didn't test for ones for in Britain.
We couldn't find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency.
What? Are you sure?
The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No! No!
I like how they clearly point out, like, that we know of.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours.
I was so sure.
This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counselor. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused who brought his own mission was holding this weapon is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for.
The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience that this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no. I'm just glad the matter was resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point?
Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Oh god, I forgot what voice I gave her. Please wait. Isn't that...
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And I am in her hand. She carried a small... In her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in furoshiki cloth.
Alright.
Wow. Damn.
Indeed.
I mean, if y'all are okay with continuing, I kind of want to figure out how this goes.
I want to continue later.
Later?
Yeah.
Wow. Alright.
We can do it tomorrow or something.
Alright, tomorrow then.